in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the second edition of GUTV Bracketology. I'm Dan Serpy.
And I'm Scott Weller. Thank you for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may be television history tonight. Our anchor has a man bun.
That's right. I'm proud to be here, proud to have a little bun, get it going. I'm also proud that I got some sleep over the weekend, and I did not drive 16 hours each way to Denver to watch the Zags. This guy right here did, though.
You know what? It is so worth it. That drive to be in that atmosphere in the Pepsi Center was incredible, but we'll talk about all kinds of basketball all over tonight's show.
That's right. Tonight, we'll update you on each of the 4 division standings, bring you our featured alumni and senior of the week, and we will sit down with our bracketologists for some tournament analysis.
First, we will look at the current student division. In third place, we have Kennedy McGahann. Kennedy is the executive producer of this bracketology show. Not only is she a good producer, but she's also pretty good at this basketball prediction stuff as well. Now in second place, it is Zach Bagden. Zach was last week's senior of the week, and now he found a way to get involved in our show again, this time by being in second place on the leaderboard for the student division. And in first, we have Austin Carr. Austin is a brother of GUTV alum Steven. Austin has had a great bracket so far. Definitely some things that scare me with his bracket, though.
Yeah, most notably, his champion is the Purdue Boilermakers. That's just kind of out of left field there a little bit, especially not only that they lost this year in the first round to Arkansas Little Rock, by the way, called that one.
Me too.
They also lost last year in the first round, so a little gutsy pick by Austin to take Purdue as the champion, but he's there right now as the top seed, so hey, good on him, I guess.
Nothing wrong with that. Honestly,
yeah.
The toughest part of the whole bracket thing is picking the first and second rounds. You get all those crazy upsets.
Yep.
He's done a great job thus far. Obviously, his champion, his opponent, is also out as well.
Yep.
He's got 2 Final Four teams that are out, but he's done a good job. And now Kennedy, I got a problem with her champion, and it's the Virginia Cavaliers. So that means they have to go through Gonzaga, and I don't agree with that one.
Not at all. Not at all. I'd say Virginia is definitely the number one seed that is probably the easiest to beat. If you had to play one of them, Virginia's a good one to play for sure.
Hey, that Midwest region is nuts with Michigan State going down, but Zach Bagden in second, he's got the smartest pick of them all, and it is Gonzaga to cut down the nets.
That's right, he sure does. It's a good pick. A Zag picks the Zags for sure. He's definitely the smartest Zag out of them all, if we can go that far.
Well, we have a star-studded top 3 with 2 seniors of the week and our current executive producer. Now, that has been, we broke down their brackets. They have done a phenomenal job.
That's right. Our alumni division has many different changes throughout the first 2 rounds. In third place, we have Kenny Pravitz. And Kenny he's a pretty interesting guy. He created GUTV's first game show. It's called The Bigger Picture. So he's got Kansas taking it. So he's still good. He's champion, still playing basketball. Second place, we have Justin Howard. He does some online communication stuff. His nickname was Towley when he was here. So I got the man bun, but his name's Towley. So I'm doing pretty good, I think. He's got Michigan State as his champion. So good luck, Justin, getting much further. But hey, good job you're here from the first 2 rounds. And in first place in our alumni division, we have Mac Hansen. He's a project manager with What's Next in Portland. Mac, though, also has an issue with his bracket. He has Michigan State going all the way. I can't blame him. I took the Spartans to go all the way as well. But Mac, you did a good job in the first 2 rounds. That's what got you here so far. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing you a little lower down next bracketology.
Hey, again, it's those first 2 rounds. Those are the toughest to pick. You have no idea where these teams are going to come from. No one in the wildest imagination thought that the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders were going to knock off Tom Izzo and the Spartans.
That's right. It's probably the biggest shock, certainly of this tournament, possibly in tournament history. There's only been a couple times where a 15 seed is taken down a number 2 seed, period. This was certainly one of the biggest ones with Michigan State. You know, a lot of people thought they should have been a #1 seed even. So
rightfully so as well.
Huge loss there.
Huge loss. Now moving on to the family and friends division. In third place, we have Marie Havorka Momot. Marie should be very proud tuning in tonight with her daughter Jacqueline as our social media talent. And in second place, we have Leah Boshi, the mother of our man here, Josh, our engineer, always helping us whenever, you know, all heck breaks out in production control. And in first place is Ted Hardenberg, the father of tonight's producer, Andrew. And Ted, your son is currently in my ear talking to me right now, so the Hardenbergs are well represented on tonight's show. And now this last one, I have to mention this. My own sister, Lauren and Serpy, is sitting in dead last at 146. Whoever helped her fill out her bracket should be fired, because I know there's no way in heck that she could have done that on her own.
Definitely. I mean, I can't say much more for my family. My mother is just a few places up from her at 143, so she had a few crazy picks. She did call a couple of them, but hey, you know, you got to try. That's what we're all here for. Love you, Mom. Now, about our friends and family brackets top 3, I think probably one thing is the most interesting, and we learned a little bit about this from Andrew, was his dad picked the top 4 correctly. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that has Ted in the top spot on our friends and family division. And Andrew gives a little insight into his little strategy there. Every year when he picks his bracket, he takes all the #1 seeds, sends them straight to the Final Four, and hey, they're all still playing basketball. First time since 2012, all #1 seeds have still been playing in Sweet 16.
Hey, so it's been a crazy year, but for the 1 seeds, they're sitting pretty. Oregon had a big time scare with St. Joe's, and Virginia had a battle with Butler, but the #1s are playing very well. Now, the newest division to GUTV Bracketology is the pet division. There are 9 pets that have entered their brackets, but some are doing much better than others. GUTV's Katie Carl caught up with the Gonzaga fan favorite at the team hotel in Denver to break down the pet predictions.
I mean, I like Gonzaga to go into the national championship for sure. I mean, we have Baylor in Final Four, so I don't think that's really gonna happen. I don't know who filled out this bracket, but what's the name of the cat?
Simon the cat.
Simon. The cat put sail all over Gonzaga in the first round. That's over. I'm not picking this for sure. I'm going with the hands. I like this bracket. I think you got it right, you know. I was going to Final Four. I believe in that. I like it, Dan. I like it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes for you.
Well, based on the standings, Barklow is doing much better than my cat Simon. I hear Shim's not exactly a cat lover, so it's no surprise that he took Barklow's bracket. Let's take a look at the standings for the pet division. In third place, we have Moose Wallweber. That is a cow of GUTV student Mariah Wallweber. Moose has the Oregon Ducks going all the way through, so that's fantastic. He's sitting pretty right now. In second place, we have our very own Barkalow Garrity. He is, of course, Dan Garrity, our professor's dog. He's kind of a GUTV mascot, so he picked the Zags to go all the way through. Good for him. He's still in it. And in the top spot, we have Loki the dog. Loki belongs to Stephen Carr, GUTV alumni. I think we got a little family tradition going on in the Carr family, Austin, and then Loki now, both at the top of their division.
Yeah, the big pick for me here is Moose Woolweber to pick the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks over the West Virginia Mountaineers. Crazy upset.
Who could have called that one?
No one really could have. Now, this tournament has been loaded with upsets. There have been 15 games in the tournament in which a lower-seeded team beat a higher-seeded team. 11 of those games had a seed difference greater than 1, and 3 out of the 4 11 seeds, including the Gonzaga Bulldogs, were victorious over the 6 seeds in the first round.
For more on how these upsets affected the GUTV brackets, let's go over to Jacqueline Momot in the Tweet Suite.
Thank you, Scott. Well, as we all know, there's been a ton of upsets. I know it's thrown my bracket right out the window. I don't think I'm much in front of Daniel's sister, but I wanted to hear what was some of your biggest upsets. So let's take a look. At S. Cargo said, this Northern Iowa loss is the biggest choke in tourney history, right? I agree with you there. It was tough watching that game last night. At JFM Sports 57 said, biggest bracket buster in the tournament so far has to be Michigan State losing to Middleton, Tennessee in the first round. And at Sammy C. Tacky says, biggest upset, Michigan State. They destroyed my bracket. They did to mine. And at Jen Mo 13, a big part of my bracket was ruined by Stephen F. Austin upsetting West Virginia in the East bracket. If you did not see your biggest upset, tweet me and let me know what ruined your bracket. And also, let me know what your predictions are. Where do you think Gonzaga will go? And coming up, we will have Senior of the Week, seeing what she has been doing for the past 4 years, and also catching up with our Alumni of the Week, seeing what she's been doing since graduation. We are GUTV.
Welcome back to GUTV Bracketology with Daniel and Serpy. I'm Scott Weller. Our Alumni of the Week is a producer in one of our nation's top markets. AnnaMaria DiPietro reflects on how her time at GUTV allows her to succeed at the highest level.
I never would have thought that little tiny GUTV would have grown to what it is today and would have created so many talented students and so many talented journalists who have really taken over the media world, not only at the local news level and in smaller markets, but at the network level and in top 10 markets.
AnnaMaria's experience with the broadcasting program here at Gonzaga has led her to a job in Washington, D.C., working for a top 10 market, allowing her access to some of the most impactful events our nation's capital has to offer.
The coolest thing that I have gotten to witness so far was Pope Francis's visit to Washington, D.C. It was one of the most surreal experiences of my life and one of the most incredible things to cover as a journalist, and especially as a young Catholic woman. To see everyone run out of their homes and run out of their apartment buildings just to catch a glimpse of him was really, truly moving. And to know that the ties of Gonzaga are linked so closely with the ties of the Vatican right now under Pope Francis is really an incredible honor and something that really makes you think about your faith and about your experience at the university.
While AnnaMaria found purposeful Jesuit values at Gonzaga, she also experienced an incredible bond with her fellow GUTV classmates.
GUTV is a family. Dan will tell you Students from the past will tell you this is your squad, for a lack of a better term.
Staying connected with Dan Garrity, the director of Gonzaga's broadcasting program, allowed for the opportunity to connect GUTV senior Caroline Rourke with AnnaMaria this past fall.
And it was so cool to be able to take a student on a tour of my newsroom and say, this is what's out there. You almost you kind of box yourself in a little bit at GUTV and you're so focused, but what you're learning right now is what you're going to be doing in the real world. We're winning Emmys, we're winning Moreaus, and GUTV is really truly the reason that any of us are this successful.
Kennedy McGahann, GUTV.
With her inspirational drive and work ethic, AnnaMaria is an excellent example for current students to grow and learn from outside of GUTV.
As you just saw in our feature on AnnaMaria, our Senior of the Week, Caroline Rourke, had a fantastic opportunity to make a connection within the GUTV family. Caroline has a drive of her own that elevates everyone around her.
To the camera or to you? Okay. Hi, I'm Caroline Rourke. I'm a senior, broadcasting major, and criminal justice minor here at Gonzaga.
Hello and welcome to GUTV. I'm Caroline Rourke.
My first day of broadcasting class my freshman year, walking into the studio and just being overcome with this realization that I'm having class in a TV studio. It was so cool, and that has never changed. Or in 4 years, I have never ceased to be amazed by that I can walk into a TV studio on a college campus and say, this is my classroom, this is where I spend my time, this is where I get to learn. That's my favorite part of GUTV.
I think the best thing about Caroline is her passion. Something about her is just really contagious, and when she's working hard on something, it makes you want to work just as hard. And I've had the privilege of getting to know her through theater first and then through broadcasting. And she brings just that same intensity and level of professionalism to both her work in broadcasting and as a director and actor. Wherever she ends up with her career professionally, I know she's just going to do amazing because she has such a great personality, and she'll pick up something super quick and make it the best that it can be. So I think anyone would be lucky to get the chance to work with her.
I think finding that balance is going to be something that we really want to work on here in the next couple days.
I went into Dan's office one time, I remember, to talk about he's my academic advisor, so we were talking about grades or something like that. And he was telling me this story about him and his dad, and they were going to get ice cream in Arizona. It was really hot, and he's like, why don't we go get ice cream? And Dan's like, okay. And then his dad's like, well, how should we get there? And so Dan starts to go through his mind and think about all of these different routes you could take to get to the ice cream store. And he finally settles on one, and his dad's like, all right, great, but you do realize we could have started walking and figured it out on the way, and we'd already be there. And I don't really know what that means yet, but I remember when he told me that, I was like, that's going to be a really important piece of advice for me in the years to come. And I don't really know how it's going to manifest itself, but I know that that's going to be something that I'm going to remember, is to, rather than sit and wait and think about, because I'm a thinker, I'm a big overanalyzer, and to think about how I could do something rather than just doing it and trying is, I think, something that's going to be really prominent for me in the years to come. So that's my favorite Danism, if you will.
Caroline is currently working as an intern for Philip Yin, who is running for Lieutenant Governor of Washington, and she hopes to work her way up in a small news market after she graduates. Coming up, I'll sit down with GUTV's very own bracketologist, Eden Lossie, to get her thoughts on the Zags' performance and the first weekend of madness.
She will also be here to hear your answers and answer any tournament questions you might have. You're watching GUTV Bracketology.
Okay, class, you have 60 minutes, and it's 240 points.
Go Zags!
Go Zags! Go Zags! Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Until next time, I'm Greg Talbot. Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Go Zags!
Welcome back. You're watching GUTV Bracketology. I'm Scott Weller. At the beginning of the show, we asked you to tweet in about your predictions about the Gonzaga game on Friday, as well as how far you think their run will go. Let's go to Jacqueline in the tweet suite to see some of your responses.
Thank you, Scott. So I asked you to let me know what your predictions are. How far do you think Gonzaga will go? So let's take a look. Ate Horney said, Syracuse's zone defense is easier for Gonzaga's offense to penetrate. I have high hopes for Saturday. Go Zags. At It's Your Girl Olive says, Gonzaga is going to make it to the Elite Eight. We're not done yet. I agree with you there, Olive, but Robert Perry here said, Gonzaga is playing their best basketball of the year. If they continue playing like this, they can make their first Final Four. I agree with you, Robert. I feel like the Zags have their head in the game, and if they keep working hard, we can make it to the Final Four. Back to you, Daniel.
Jacqueline, after a wild weekend of tournament play, the Sweet 16 field is set. And to the surprise of some, the Gonzaga Bulldogs have cruised to the first two rounds, winning 2 games by a combined 39 points. Joining me now is our bracketologist and Bulletin Sports editor, Eden Lossie, who experienced the run in Denver. What were those 2 games in Denver like?
Those 2 games were an incredible experience to watch and be on the sidelines covering. Gonzaga just blew through the competition. I did not expect them to defeat Utah by such a wide margin, but everything was clicking. They were doing well in all aspects of the game. Defense, offense, shooters were finding their shots. It was just pretty incredible to watch.
And now, as a sports editor, you've been covering this team for the entire season, obviously.
Right.
At what point did this team start to click, and where is this confidence and this style, this level of play coming from?
It's pretty crazy because some people have been saying that Gonzaga is not an 11 seed, and while I agree they're much better than an 11 seed, but they didn't really play much better until the WCC tournament, that's when the guards really started clicking, our defense really started clicking. So from there on, they started showing themselves to be a premier team and somebody who could go deep in the tournament. But before that, I never would have seen it coming.
And now the Midwest bracket, that regional, is in Chicago, so the play switches to the United Center on Friday. The matchup versus Syracuse, that patented Jim Boeheim 2-3 zone. How do you think the Zags are going to fare in that one?
Well, that 2-3 zone is a tough matchup for anybody just because it's not a defense that teams generally see during the regular season. But the biggest and best way to break down a zone like that is to have a talented big man in the middle, and we definitely have that with Domantas Sabonis. And then if they crash down on him, shooters have to be able to find their shot, and we definitely have shooters who are capable of knocking down a 3.
It should be a great matchup. Oranges are definitely my least favorite fruit. The social media scene has been buzzing about how Gonzaga's been playing in the predictions. Now let's go back over to Jacqueline Momot in the tweet suite. Jacqueline's got some questions for us.
Thank you, Daniel. So at Momot Biz wanted to know, what game do you think was the biggest upset of the tournament so far?
So we talked a little earlier, this one's been loaded with upsets. What's the one that really stands out for you?
Michigan State going down in the first round to Middle Tennessee was a huge shocker. Broke my bracket completely open. I had them winning it all. I think that is the biggest upset of all time in tournament history. They have some huge star power with Denzel Valentine, Player of the Year candidate. They've got senior leadership with Valentine, Bryn Forbes, Matt Costello, so that's really something that no one saw coming, particularly with Tom Izzo, who I think is one of the best coaches in the country and definitely one of the best in March.
And once Michigan State went down, that road for Gonzaga seemed to get a little bit more clear. Now let's go back to Jacqueline, and Jacqueline has another one for us.
Robert Perry here asks, how would you rate Middle Tennessee's upset of Michigan State compared to other NCAA tournament upsets?
Now, we just talked about this upset. Biggest one of all time?
I definitely think it is the biggest one of all time. Michigan State has built an incredible resume for March. Tom Izzo always prepares his team, and like I said, they have seniors on this team. They're experienced. They've been in March. So the fact that they dropped in that fashion in the first round was shocking to me, shocking to the whole country, I think.
Now, okay, so let's go back to Chicago. We got Gonzaga's going to play Syracuse, and then they get the winner of Iowa State, Virginia. Does Gonzaga have enough to cut down the nets in Chicago and make it to the first ever Final Four in school history?
If the Zags continue to play the way they're playing, I would say they definitely have a shot at their first Final Four. The defense has to continue being sharp like it has been. The guards have to continue playing at their full potential. We got to get everything we can out of Sabonis and Wilcher. But if they continue to play at the level that they've been playing and at the level that they're capable, there is no doubt in my mind that they can get to a Final Four.
Now, after covering this team in Denver and the different press conferences and interviews you had, what's the one quote either from Coach Few or the players that really sticks out to you?
The quote that sticks out to me is from Josh Perkins, their point guard. He's a great interview, and he said, talking about Sabonis and Wilcher, he says, I have the best front court in the country. It's a two-headed monster, and it's my job to feed it. And I thought that was an incredible way to sum up that team.
Awesome. Well, Eden, thank you very much. Hopefully, your prediction comes true. You have more faith than your colleague Andy Bueller does. He was here last week. He said Gonzaga was going to lose to Utah. We all know how that one turned out. Now let's go back over to Scott Weller to wrap up tonight's show.
Thanks, Daniel, and thank you guys so much for watching our show. The Zags Sweet 16 game against Syracuse is on March 25th. Tip-off is at 6:40 p.m. And our next episode of GUTV Bracketology will be on Wednesday, March 30th at 5. We're also going to feature our Senior of the Week, Caroline Rourke, and our Senior of the Week next week is going to be Yalda Rafi, and our Alumni of the Week is Molly Garrity. So that's going to be great. Make sure you tune in for that at 5 o'clock. Thank you so much for watching GUTV Bracketology, and good night.